a WCW, trivia? Oh, Kevin J. Kevin J. Kevin J. Come on. Let's do this.
Hello and welcome, wrestling fans. This is Wrestling Jeopardy. I'm Kevin J. Callis.
Yeah!
And allegedly, this is where the big boys play.
Look at the adjective. Play.
So let's go to the board now and check out the categories you'll be quizzed on. Starting with WCW announcers.
Done.
NWO members.
Done.
WCW mini-movies.
Done.
WCW tag team names.
Done.
And last but not least, WCW goofy gimmicks.
Done.
Gosh, that's just what I wanted.
And if this is your first time playing, well, thank you for stopping by. And if you're a veteran, welcome back. Here are the not-so-extreme rules so you understand exactly how to play this interactive play-along trivia competition. My only request is that you leave a comment below with your score so I know exactly how you did.
And subscribe to the man.
Hi, kids.
All right, let's jump right in and
What
kick
was that
things off
from?
with WCW announcers for 200, a stellar broadcast career that spans from Mid-South Wrestling through his run in WWE and now AEW. However, his work in Jim Crockett Promotions and WCW is considered his best and most passionate.
Who is Tony Schiavone?
And that would be good old JR Jim Ross.
Wait a minute.
And that would
Wait. Hold on. However, his work in Jim Crockett Promotions and WCW is considered his best and most passionate? Who came up with this question? His best and most passionate. Have you seen the Attitude Era? I'm calling shenanigans, brother. Shenanigans. Best and most passionate. You get a people's eyebrow on
and
that.
that would be good old JR Jim Ross. Which brings us to NWO members for 200.
All right.
This wrestler joined the New World Order in late 1996 when his former Money Incorporated tag team partner Ted DiBiase offered him a spot in the faction.
Erwin R. Shyster, IRS.
Man, oh Manischewitz, I could go with so many different answers here. Mike Rotunda, Mike Rotundo, Erwin R. Shyster, IRS, Michael Wall Street, Captain Mike Rotunda, or VK Wall Street.
Is Wall Street joining the NWO?
Moving on to WCW mini-movies for 2.
Yeah.
For the first mini-movie, the man called Sting was encouraged to spin the wheel, make the deal in preparation for a stipulation match versus Jake the Snake Roberts at this 1992 pay-per-view.
I want to say Slamboree, but I know that's wrong.
And the stipulation that was
Halloween
widely
Havoc.
panned was the Coal Miners Glove match at the Halloween
What's the
Havoc
Coal Miners
pay-per-view
Glove match?
in
Okay.
1992.
Sting, I knew you'd come.
And we're on to WCW tag team names for 200.
Let's
Name
hear
the
it.
team of Marcus Bagwell and the Patriot.
Stars and Tights?
And that would be Stars and Stripes. And let's finish off the 200.
I was joking. I can't believe I nearly got that on just a joke.
Point round with WCW Goofy Gimmicks.
Oh, boy.
Hailing from the Emerald City, this silver-haired character was managed by the Great Wizard, aka Kevin Sullivan, in a creepy old man mask.
Who is Kevin Nash, a.k.a. Oz? Or I could call you
The
Super
event,
Shredder.
Super Brawl 1991, a day that will live in infamy that saw the debut of the great and powerful
Vinny Vegas.
Oz. Welcome time! All right, we're starting off the 400 round with WCW announcers. Before Eric Bischoff took his gig with WCW, What Minneapolis-based wrestling promotion was he working for?
Oh, what is the AWA?
And that would be the AWA,
The
the
AMA.
American Wrestling Association.
Yeah, AWA.
And we're on to NWO members for 400. Originally a part of Raven's flock, this NWO member was the real-life nephew of Hulk Hogan.
Who is Horace Hogan and one of the worst angles of Halloween Havoc 1998 going into it and the day of the show?
It's a pretty sweet gig when your uncle has a lot of power at his job. The correct answer here is Horace Hogan.
Oh, shit.
Brother.
Moving on to WCW mini-movies for 400. For the second mini-movie, the man called Sting accepted an invitation to join Big Van Vader prior to Super Brawl 3 at his White Castle of Fear, located in this United States mountain range.
I want to say Rocky Mountains, but that's going to be wrong too.
Come to the White Castle of Fear and play Vader's game!
That John Denver's full of shit, man.
And the answer here is the Rocky Mountains. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. Brings us to WCW tag team names for 400. Name the team name of Alex Wright and the Disco Inferno.
The Disco Dicks. No. I thought
These two were just a couple of dancing fools.
Okay. That was
All right,
later
let's
on.
close out the 400-point round with WCW goofy gimmicks.
Hot dog.
Arachnaman, Brad Armstrong's web-slinging superhero persona, came to its abrupt end when this comic book company sued WCW for copyright infringement.
Who is Marvel?
Your friendly neighborhood Spidey didn't take too kindly to Arachnaman, and neither
Wait,
did
is that
Marvel
Ding or Dong?
Comics. All right, 10 down, 15 to go. Let's kick off the 600-point round with WCW announcers. Nicknamed the Professor, this announcer brought the smart fans' perspective to the call, and at times, there was no one better.
Who is the Professor, Mike Tenay?
And the answer here is the Professor, Mike Tenay.
Now, this may be an unpopular opinion. I've said this in a video a few years ago, actually. My favorite commentary team, I talked about Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross in the Attitude Era earlier in this video. Actually, question number 1. But my favorite commentary team of all time, Shivani, Brain, Dusty. And then you bring in Mike Tenay when he had the Luchadors because he had such great insight. That's when Mike Tenay was at his best, not full-time commentary.
And that brings us to NWO members for 600. Tori Wilson was brought into the NWO to seduce this wrestler.
She was in the... I thought she was a part of that David Flair 4 Horsemen angle. Was David a part of the NWO? I'm going to say David Flair.
Originally introduced under the name Samantha, Tori Wilson was brought in to seduce David Flair. All right, moving on to WCW mini-movies for 600.
I'll be
And you
wagering
found
0.
a daily double, so tally up your score right now and see how much you want to wager on the daily double clue from WCW mini-movies.
$1. And it's going to be an easy one, and I wish I had bet the farm.
All right, time's up. Let's take a look at the clue. For the third and final mini-movie, The Man Called Sting and Davey Boy Smith were almost blown to bits before their Beach Blast 93 match versus Sid and Vader, who at this time were being billed by this name.
Lost $1. Hey, big man, let me lose $1 on some WCW
Who
trivia.
were the masters of the power bomb?
That's right. Why did that come up?
All right, we're on to WCW tag team names for 600. Name the team name of Ice Train and Scott Norton.
Oh, what is Fire and Ice?
No, it's not flapjacks and ice cream. The correct answer is Fire and Ice. And let's close out the 600-point round with WCW Goofy Gimmicks. Alongside his valet Symphony, this wrestler was lowered on a platform from the ceiling while he played the piano.
Wow.
Who is the artist formerly known as Prince Iakea?
His valet Symphony,
Fuck
who was
you.
Ryan Shamrock in the WWF. The correct answer here, who is the Maestro? All right, 15 questions down, 10 to go, plus Final Jeopardy. Let's hop back in to WCW announcers for 800. Upon Hulk Hogan's arrival to WCW, this announcer was promptly relieved of his duties due to real-life heat with the Hulkster.
It had to have been Bobby Heenan.
The Body was not brothers with Hogan.
I don't think
Jesse.
so.
Jesse Ventura was giving
Jesse.
the good old heave-ho out the door.
Tonight on Monday Nitro, Pasta Mania has got all my Hulkamaniacs running wild.
And we're on to NWO members for 800. This third-generation NASCAR driver was recruited to join the faction and even drove a custom-designed NWO stock car in several NASCAR races.
Cal Naughton Jr. I don't remember. I can see the car in my head.
True story, when I
Kyle
used to work
Petty.
in radio, I once interviewed Kyle Petty.
When I worked in radio, I once interviewed and met later at the signing Buff Bagwell. Don't get into a pissing contest with me, bud. Mr. Kevin J. Callis. Yeah. Didn't they have this thing on
I'm Ricky
TBS?
Bobby. You don't chew Big Red, then
Fuck
you.
you.
Moving on to WCW
That's good.
mini-movies
We're right
for
here, brother.
800. Besides the man called Sting, this was the name of the only other recurring character in this infamous trilogy. The correct answer here is Cheatham.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Brings us to WCW tag team
Okay.
names for 800.
Horrible
What was the team
ADR.
name of Bobby Eaton and Steve Kern?
Who gives a shit? I don't know. I have no idea.
No, they weren't called the Fabulous Midnight Skinners or the Beautiful Doinks. The correct answer here is Bad Attitude.
And they had
closing
the
out
Chippendales.
800-point
Ugh.
rounds with Goofy Gimmicks, perhaps most famous as one half of Jim Cornette's Heavenly Bodies, along with Dr. Tom Pritchard. Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey joined WCW in 1996 and was called Jimmy what?
The only thing that makes sense is Jimmy Ray, but I know that's not right.
And that would be Jimmy
Graffiti.
Graffiti.
What is this?
That's what
All
I'm
right, we've
saying,
reached that
Paul
time of the
Orndorff.
episode, the most difficult round in Wrestling Jeopardy, the 1,000-point round. The steel cage begins to lower. The ominous
I'm not
music
saying you picked
begins
the
to
worst
play.
WCW
You need to
questions,
pop
but you
on
picked the
your
ones that made me
thinking
look
caps.
the worst.
All right, let's kick it off. WCW announcers for 1,000. Known more for his 1-800 collect calls mocking Bobby the Brain Heenan, this announcer would go on to become the voice of Tony the Tiger.
This is your $1,000 question. Really? As the Miz like to say, really? He was on the 1-800 collect the scouter for the Nitro parties. He was on commentary. Come on.
Who is Lee Marshall?
Good there, Ghoul.
Brings us to NWO
Stagger Lee, man. Come on. That should have been your first question.
members for 1,000. In late 1997, this wrestler left ECW to join WCW and instantly became Scott Hall's lackey.
This is another $1,000 question. Louis Piccoli. Who is Louis Piccoli?
That would be Louis Spicolli. Closing out mini movies for 1,000, Eric Bischoff has more than once discussed on his 83 Weeks podcast that this woman was in charge of pay-per-view marketing in the early 1990s.
Who is Janie Angle?
And her name was Sharon Sadello.
Oh, that's
And we're on
right.
to the final clue
Yeah.
of
Okay.
WCW tag team
Janie was the office lady, right? Or the PR lady? I forget.
names. You're never going to get this one. Name
Says it. Oh, okay. You're right.
the team of Dirty Dick Slater and Mean Mike Enos. That would be Rough and Ready. And the final clue of the regular Jeopardy round comes from Goofy Gimmicks. The Dungeon of Doom was a cadre of cartoonish villains who assembled in a haunted fortress where the master, portrayed by this Hawaiian wrestling legend, sat on a throne looking like Jabba the Hutt.
Whoa! It's not hot!
The dude was covered in cobwebs and chalk, and his forehead was all scarred up from years of just gigging himself. The correct answer here is King Curtis Iakea. Hopefully you scored well with those 25 questions, but this final Jeopardy is no laughing matter. Let's go and find out what the category is. WCW pay-per-views. During WCW's run, much like any other wrestling promotion, it had some amazing events take place and quite a few disasters. All right, so think about how much you know about WCW pay-per-views and place your wager.
Every last dime. As long as it's between 1997 and
All right,
1998.
time is up. Here is this episode's final Jeopardy clue. In no particular order, name the 3 pay-per-views WCW held in early 2001 before being purchased by WWF.
Ooh, all right. Greed. That was the last one. Super Brawl. Uncensored? Wait, 2021? You mean 2001? I've seen all kinds of screwiness here, Mr. Kevin J. Callis. Yeah. Greed, Uncensored. Greed. The last one was Greed. I know that. Because the irony. Super Brawl and Uncensored.
Good luck.
Because Uncensored used to be the January pay-per-view. Super Brawl was the February pay-per-view. And then it was Slamboree, Spring Stampede, the Great American Bash,
Boom.
Bash of the
In
Beach.
no particular order, name the 3 pay-per-views WCW held in early 2001 before being purchased by WWF. On January 14th, 2001, from the Conseco Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana,
That's right.
WCW put on
had that
Sin. On February 18th,
Super Brawl
2001,
Revenge.
from the Nashville Municipal Auditorium in Nashville, Tennessee, WCW put on Super Brawl.
And then Greed was the
Revenge.
last
I'll give you
one.
that.
Scott
It's not
Steiner on
Super
the
Brawl. And the final WCW pay-per-view occurred on March 18th, 2001.
That opening
from the
Cruiserweight three-way
Jacksonville
was
Memorial Coliseum
banger.
in Jacksonville, Florida. The title was
Go see it on the network.
Greed. And that does it for another episode of Wrestling Jeopardy. If you like what you saw, please give this video a massive thumbs up and consider
It'll be in the
subscribing.
description.
My name
Go
is
watch
Kevin
his stuff
Big
before you
Dallas,
watch this.
and I'll see you next time.
Go subscribe to him.